are the leaders of this culture. And if we aren't happy and satisfied, it's going down.
About to shut this shit down. Let me know that you can hear me. Shout out to y'all. I see you. I appreciate you. Y'all. I don't even know if we're going to get to the second interview, y'all, because it looks like there's a controversy about the cell phone, y'all. The cell phone allegedly has not been handed over, and now it's becoming a thing. What happened? What if we want to know what's going on and everybody want to get to the bottom of everything? Why wouldn't they bottomly give up the cell phone that they said about 3 to 4 weeks ago that they was going to come together and we're going to get a cell phone? This is Trump speaking. We're going to come together and we're going to get the cell phone to 2 different people so that we know that everything will be okay. Y'all remember that? They stand in front of some courthouse and they talking about racism amongst white people while having 2 white lawyers that work for Ben Crump. Y'all remember that? Now today is week 6 going into week 7 since Nolan died. And now they talking about the cell phone. Well, child, y'all got enough money to get the damn cell phone taken care of. I mean, how much money do you need to get a forensic person to take a look at a damn cell phone, child? Y'all tell me, okay? Because today we have made the previous goal. Shout out to them. They made the previous goal because, as we know, the goal was raised. Testing. The goal was raised to 950. So technically they're 101% to go because they surpassed the goal. Maybe it's 200%, 200.1 since the first goal was 750, then 850. Now it's 950. It's not working. Lord. Seriously? You don't hear that? Cops do what for free? What the cops do? What are you talking about? Anyway. All right. If you can't hear, I don't know what happened. Maybe I got to turn the thing off every night if that's what the problem is. Where does the money reside? GoFundMe. You gentlemen, shout out to everybody that is here. But if you are Black and you're a male and you get taken out of here by a white person or the oppressor, then you are worth maybe $950,000. You just never know. When you're alive, you ain't ish. Understand and know that you're not in charge of shit.
No, Black women are the leaders of this culture. And if we aren't happy and satisfied, it's going down.
Okay? Don't worry. I'm always here to let y'all know what's what. You can count on me. All right? So let's see how long it takes to get to 950 before they raise it to 1 million. I just have a feeling it's going to go to 1 million. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. All right? So we waiting around for it. Anyway. So I see that Nancy Grace is out here along with who is it? Chris Cuomo. And I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and take a look at Law and Crime. All right. So let's look at them. I think the pros like this station. I know they like Nancy. I got Nancy if we need to do her. Tatum is doing a live stream. Like, there's a lot going on right now, y'all. There's a lot going on. The bottom line is, that phone ain't been sent to nobody. Who knows what's happened to the phone all this time? It could be compromised. I thought everybody wanted to find out what happened to Nolan, and the phone was the key. The phone was a big part of it. Well, why ain't nobody looked at the phone 7 weeks later? Anybody got any ideas, Bueller? All right. Law and Crime says, shocking Nolan Wells cell phone claim shakes mystery. Okay, maybe they know something.
Family not turn over his cell phone to the police. The lawyer for one of Nolan's friends just made that accusation on Dan Abrams' Sirius show, and we're going to bring on Dan to give his take on that and the latest on this case. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. What a statement on the Nolan Wells case, right? Did Nolan Wells' family not turn over his phone to authorities? Now I got to explain where this allegation is coming from.
Well, Nolan can't turn his phone over. Let's just be clear. Nolan can't do that, so we're not going to put the blame on him, sir.
This just happened on Dan Abrams' Sirius show. We're going to bring Dan on. But Nolan Wells, of course, is the 18-year-old college football player who died after a July 4th boating trip to this barrier island known as Horn Island out in Mississippi. His body was found on July 6th. His family is demanding answers. They are demanding a thorough and complete investigation. They have hired their own attorney, Ben Crump, to conduct an independent investigation as authorities, namely the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, conduct their own investigation. The results of the state official autopsy toxicology report, they have not been released. The case is expected to go to a grand jury under Mississippi law for potential criminal charges. Only after that could we expect to see the autopsy report, the toxicology report. But look, we don't even know for sure how Nolan died. We don't know the circumstances of his death. We don't know what caused his death. We don't even know if a crime has been committed. And by the way, as we talk about the Nolan Wells case, we have all these documents and information that we have compiled on our Long Crime Plus app. We have this case file section of all of our big cases. There's the Nolan, you can check it all out there. And by the way, that's we can show you right here, the 911 crime and court TV shows. So you can check that out. True. We reported the other day that Nolan's friends, who apparently were with him that day, have hired lawyers. So we're talking about Warren Hudson, Jax Patalo, Morgan Seymour, and then according to TMZ, Hudson and Patalo took their lawyers, J. Tyler Cox and Edward Andrew Palcic, back to Horn Island. So it seems they may be conducting their own independent investigation. And this seems to be in light of reported threats that they've been receiving. There's been kind of the rumblings. They may file their own kind of defamation actions against people who have been spreading what they claim is misinformation about them online. So they go to this island, maybe get a better understanding of the island's layout, the dynamics. And to be clear, when I talk about potential litigation, there has been online speculation that they were somehow involved in what happened to Nolan. To be clear, there is nothing that we have seen released by authorities to verify that in any way. They deny any allegations. Also, Seymour, Hudson, and Patalo, they appeared on the Officer Tatum show, hosted by Brandon Tatum, who's been looking into this. And Patalo allegedly blamed Nolan's mom, Christine Wonsley, for all the social media frenzy that's out there, claiming that her...
Oh, no. The pros are not going to like that. The pros are not going to like that. Boo Bears. Shout out to all the Boo Bears that might be here.
Quote, blasting us on social media from the get-go that was an issue, that she was putting their identities out there. And he claims the story was, quote, blown out of proportion. They have called Nolan their brother. Hudson also said, I wish we would have never went out, meaning never went out to Horn Island. So this brings us now to Dan Abrams' Sirius show yesterday. So Dan was interviewing the attorneys who I just mentioned, Mr. Cox and Mr. Palcic. And that is when a caller named Mo asked about Nolan's phone. Now, let me remind everybody about this, about Nolan's phone for a second.
Before he gets into Nolan's phone for a second, now it looks like the lawyers for the boys are making their rounds. I'm pretty sure some of the pros are saying that that's racist. How dare they? How dare they try to defend themselves against all the lies? How dare they? I just got a feeling. I could be wrong, but I know I'm right. But I could be wrong, but I know I'm right.
Nolan's mom previously reportedly claimed that when the family got Nolan's phone back, seemingly from his friends, that she actually tracked the phone down using a Life 360 app, she reportedly claimed that there were no pictures or videos on these Snapchat accounts that Nolan had. So it was a concern that was information deleted. And you couple that with the report that Nolan's family had issued subpoenas to companies like Snapchat and WhatsApp and TikTok and Meta and Life 360.
Okay, well, what happened, child? What happened? What happened?
360, potentially as part of upcoming litigation. This is according to court documents that were obtained by the Sun Herald.
So litigation there, GoFundMe here, donations there. See how much y'all could be worth? I'm just saying.
Reporting by the New York Post. Remember, they're also just conducting their own independent investigation as to what happened here. Now, Ben Crump had reportedly indicated at one point that his team and authorities would do a mutual inspection of Nolan's phone.
Yeah, that's what he said, and that shit ain't been done. Cause trust me, anything this nigga do, he gonna put it in front of everybody. Now he mute. Maybe he down there with Ruiz. The man he said is black, named Ruiz, down in Wisconsin.
And Crump had said that their own former law enforcement experts will, quote, help us with the cell phone downloads so everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has. But then this happens. Caller Mo comes on and asks this, and then listen to Tyler Cox's reaction.
Let's go to Mo in Houston. Mo, how you doing? What do you got?
Hey, Dan, love the show. I appreciate you gentlemen for coming on as well.
Thank you.
A couple quick things. Was Nolan Wells, were there messages missing out of his phone? And the second thing is photos have come out. Yeah, they're saying that there were messages missing off of his phone. His phone was wiped. And another thing, there's pictures of, like with the modern day with people with cell phones and social media, there's pictures with adults on that boat. There, in one of the adults, they're even saying it's like an affluent crowd, much businessmen. They were saying it's just kids, but they're adults there.
Right, but here's the thing that they're saying. Yeah. I don't know who the they is, but let's let.
I was about to say, who the hell is they? Come on, lawyers. Who is they?
Go ahead. Tyler, you want to take this one?
Can somebody let somebody finish their sentence?
Or
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I saw a headline a few weeks back that said Ben Crump and the family is going to allow the Jackson County Sheriff's Office access to Nolan's phone.
Yeah.
You know what I never heard? I never heard him follow through with that.
Anybody heard Ben follow through with that? Bueller? Remember when he was standing on the steps of the courthouse with the two white lawyers and I think an Asian woman? Y'all remember that? We gonna get over at the same time so that we can see it at the same time. Crickets. Oh, I guess you can't hear that. Crickets. Nothing. Put all your faith in this motherfucker, though. Go ahead.
I have reason to believe, and I do believe, that they have not cooperated with law enforcement. I do not think that they have turned in Nolan's phone. And I'm willing to bet my reputation on it. I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department has it. So how can you say that there's text missing or there's photographs missing? Our boys had no reason to do anything with Nolan's phone other than give it back to Christine and her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
So after hearing that, let me bring on now the host of the Dan Abrams Show.
Just for a second before the host of the Dan Abrams Show comes on. So if they were out at 9 a.m. in the morning, which it's about 9 a.m. in the morning, and then they got the horn, I think 10 or 11, and then they get off the boat. I hope everyone now understands why no one had their phone on the island, because they're just sitting in poopy water. By the way, thank you, Chris, for the happy poop. So then that takes you through till 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and even 11 a.m. the next morning. That's 24 hours. There would really be nothing on the phone. That's if he had taken any snaps by, I'm just saying, about 11. So is that weird? We all know that Snapchat disappears after 24 hours. So they just, something is missing off the phone. There's no snaps. Well, when was he going to snap? He had his hands full with the girl and the phone is on the boat. Y'all know that's just crazy talk. Come on, chat.
Show on Sirius XM POTUS Channel 124. Dan Abrams, founder of Law and Crime. Dan, good to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Jesse, great to be with you.
So the attorneys come on. Tyler Cox makes that statement, willing to bet his reputation that Ben Crump and the family haven't turned the phone over. What did you make of that?
He should have said to this date, because they'll maybe try and turn it in now.
I mean, I was stunned when they said it, right? I mean, when I invited them on the show, I didn't really think they were going to break news. I thought they were going to more talk about the defamation lawsuits that they were talking about, et cetera. But when he said that, I sort of paused and I was like, whoa, wait a second. He's accusing them of withholding evidence from the investigation. And sort of that's what everyone is calling for, right? Which is everyone saying, let the investigation proceed. Let's see what the investigation turns up. And you got to hope that the family is going to be willing to turn over the phone as part of that investigation.
Look, you've covered cases for such a long time. I have never heard of a mutual inspection of a cell phone that could potentially be a crucial piece of evidence in this case, where their own experts and police are going to somehow simultaneously look at the phone at the same time. This is a different case.
Well, if you're sending it to, just say they got a plan through AT&T, you don't need a lawyer. Send the shit. That's what I thought that she filed a lawsuit for, or whatever it is that she did to all the social media companies, so that she can say, send whatever it is that he had on the phone in the 48 hours before July the 4th, including July the 4th, so maybe 72 hours, so we can see what was on it and see if anything was deleted. That should have been done. If these, I don't care what y'all say, if you really wanted to fucking find out what happened to your son, or if you think there's some foul play on the phone, that should have been done immediately. Even if you got to go to the judge, go to whoever. Ain't that what Ben is for? So you can get your permission to get them to resolve and give the information so that you could see. It could be, and if it comes from the phone company, I guess they racist too and they in on it too. I know some ignorant will say that. So then they could send it to your lawyer, they could send it to the prosecutor, and everybody will have everything. I guess that's just crazy talk, right?
And it just made me wonder, how could they potentially refuse to turn the phone over? I mean, look, police would have to have a warrant, but at the same time, I'm trying to understand how that could even be possible.
Well, I mean, look, I would think they probably don't have to turn it over. Remember, from the police perspective, they start this by saying, we don't think there's foul play, but we're certainly going to investigate, right? They're not investigating any wrongdoing by the family of Nolan Wells. They're not investigating any wrongdoing by Nolan Wells himself. So the question of, do they get a warrant? I guess they could, but I don't know that if it's true, I don't know that the authorities really want to be at odds, right, with the family, because in theory, it is the family calling for the authorities to do a thorough investigation.
How you calling for a thorough investigation and you ain't helping the investigation be thorough? Child, please.
And if they're not helping in that, then obviously that's a problem. Now, maybe they're going to take the position that they don't think that the authorities are doing a good or thorough or fair investigation. I don't know. We really need to talk to them about that to determine what their position is.
What I also find interesting is this is now a third investigation that's happening. So you have local law enforcement investigating at the sheriff's office. You have the family, Nolan Wells' family, conducting their own investigation. And then
allegedly, but shout out to the GoFundMe that surpassed its second goal.
And you spoke with the attorneys that are representing Nolan's friends who are conducting seemingly their own investigation, going to the island. What did they tell you about that and about what their goal is right now?
Yeah, I mean, they basically were saying that they're not really trying to investigate this the same way the authorities are trying to investigate it. From their perspective is their clients don't know what happened to him after the last time they saw him that afternoon, right? So their position is, we wanted to go to Horn Island to make sure that, in particular, their new lawyer understood the landscape, just had a sense of what it's like there, so that when he's talking about this, and again, potentially filing defamation lawsuits in connection with it, that he had a good handle on exactly sort of how the island works. And I say that because this isn't a typical island where there's like facilities and stuff. It's just like people go there, they go boating there.
Yeah, no facilities. That means shitty water. Shitty water. I said it, I meant it.
They bring their boats there and then they leave, right? And so, they wanted to look at, where the rip currents could be, and just, as they said, not to draw conclusions, but just so, they can be educated, in particular their new lawyer, because Tyler Cox had already been there, in discussing the case.
I have to say, and I mentioned this point before on Sidebar, that I find it interesting that not only have these guys, lawyered up and have taken kind of more of a proactive position, but they're going on Brandon Tatum's show. It seems to me that it might help their credibility. I'm curious your thought, because if you have these accusations against them, if they really were a part of this in some way, if they really had something to do with Nolan's death, the last thing they would want to do is litigate this and have discovery and have potentially damning evidence come out against them. They would remain quiet. Do you think I'm looking at it the wrong way? I mean, because that's something that came out to me.
That's exactly what their lawyer said. I mean, their lawyer specifically said to me, do you think we'd be so crazy as to put our clients out there if we thought that they had anything potentially incriminating to say? And, look, you do need to look at this, I think, this case from the kind of the big picture, which is, what is the evidence? And I always say this about this case when I talk about it, which is typically in these high profile investigations, when things are bubbling up, right, and the investigation is ongoing, what makes these cases have layers is inconsistencies, is things that don't add up.
Inconsistencies only from people on social media. And the help of the family, honestly. I guess they all, the prosecuted people or the police in Mississippi too, everybody's turned this into a shit show. Whoever just said that two-story, I think, so many lies, so much confusion surrounding this, you'll never get to the bottom of it now. I don't disagree. Chris, thank you for the happy poop, for the poopy water. You heard him say there's no facilities. So if you didn't get to get on somebody's boat, and how many people they want to come on their boat taking a shit, they was shitting in that water. Like I said, it's standing up and hanging out in shitty water, and child, to each his own.
About what the defendants are, what the witnesses, potential suspects are saying, right? And yet that hasn't been the case here, right? I mean, yeah, people are saying, well, I have questions about the call that they made for help. I have questions about why Nolan's phone was on the boat. Okay, that's great to have questions. But that's not the same thing as saying, wait a second here. This story doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. The problem, with where we are today is their story, in my view, does kind of make sense, right? And so there has to be something else, because let's even assume the very worst case scenario, as far as I'm concerned, which is that there was some sort of fight between Nolan and his friends. They say that didn't happen, but let's even assume that happened, and they left him on the island. Okay, that's not murder. That's not manslaughter, right?
Well, Dan, you're making too much sense. It's probably because you're white, all right? And black people are now boycotting white people because you're all racist, all right? So you're talking from a racist point of view. Now, for those of us with common sense, obviously this makes fucking sense. But when you're talking to the coloreds, they don't want to hear near none of this. They only want to hear what they want to hear. No proof of nothing unless you're listening to caricature. And if you listen to caricature, child, this ain't the place for you, because he's about an idiot, okay? But then again, y'all like Ben Crump, who clearly ain't doing shit because he got to be over here with, who else is it? The three other people at the press conference, Ruiz in Wisconsin, and somebody else along with this. I mean, child, he got a lot going on. And he's using a lot of white people for a man saying that all white people are racist. I'm a little bit confused by that, but not really, because that's what gets you coloreds all riled up. So he's doing his job, which is why which is why they are now at a $950,000 ask from a starting $750,000. So clearly they got plenty of money in order to get that phone taken care of and reviewed, and everyone could have access, or not us, but everybody that needs to have access to it and what was on the phone. And if something was deleted, we would know that probably by now. But I guess they saving this money for a rainy day, child, since they keep raising it. How soon do you think they're going to raise it to $1 million? I say when it gets to 940,000, it'll get raised another 50,000. Give it to them. I support it. I support it.
You know, this island is an island where people are constantly going on other people's boats to leave. It's not just like, oh my goodness, if you don't get back on your boat, you'll never get out. So even if that happens.
Dan, more common sense. What are you saying? White men being racist. What is he saying? You trying to tell me that someone else would take you home? You mean the regular way that they usually did this shit for years? What? Child, that's crazy talk.
And it would be bad, right? But I kind of feel like we know about it already. Meaning there were so many different people who were involved in this group. There would be, 3 people saying, yeah, those 2 guys didn't want to let him back on the boat. And we haven't heard that. So I just think that, and I think these lawyers are right to say, you better be really careful when you're pointing the finger at these friends. And I'm so sorry that this has become a sort of a race.
Danny. Don't. Okay? Let these same people keep talking. Again, I've seen some changes in some people, but keep talking. Keep talking. Keep saying it all, knowing nothing. But make sure you keep accusing somebody, okay? Knowing nothing. Keep on. I look forward to lawsuits. I look forward to the lawsuits. I can't wait.
When you're pointing the finger at these friends, and I'm so sorry that this has become a sort of a race case. And I say, I'm so sorry because, in theory, what this is a black kid and white kids who were friends. They were really good friends.
They were not friends. This is the white supremacy, Dan, okay? Forget all those pictures. Forget all the pictures that they were in together. Forget all the stories that they've had over the years. Forget all the times that they went on vacation together. They were not friends. They were waiting for the right moment to delete their black ass friend. Dan, you just don't understand. Is Tadisha here yet, child? You just don't understand because you're not black. It's in the code. White people always wait for the right moment to take out black people. Where have you been? You're a news reporter. You're in law. You should know this by now. Lord have mercy. Don't hire Dan to be your lawyer, because clearly, if you're black, because clearly he don't know that.
That's right. And suddenly, the fact that they were of different races is changing people's perception of the evidence. And that is really, macro picture. That's that's upsetting, right? That's not where we want our society to be.
And I don't blame a family wanting all the answers and maybe not trusting law enforcement and saying they came out too quickly to say it was not foul play and wanting to have an attorney navigate it for them. And to be honest, I whether it's the video that's come out of the boat seemingly taking on water or the audio, again, nothing to suggest to me that Nolan was on that boat. So it seems to support the narrative he was on the island. The only thing that stands out to me right now that I just can't make sense of, if this was an accident, if this was a drowning, this is an island, like you said, so many people. I don't know who law enforcement has spoken to, but no one saw him. No one saw him in distress. No, that's the part about it. That's the only thing I can't grasp.
I completely agree. But that also doesn't point the finger at the friends, right?
That is the bottom line. That is the bottom line. But, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They just see the first set of white people and say, that's what they did. They've been waiting forever to take their friend out. Because you know what? This is the thing. That when dummies get their mind caught up on one thing, they let other things go. Not that I listen to them dumbasses on TikTok, but I'm just saying, if you are only got tunnel vision, then that means that you're letting whoever may have, if there was something that was foul play, you're letting them off the hook because you so badly wanted to be this person that you're not even thinking because you're so stupid. Listen to the stupid people on the internet who know nothing. You don't even think that there could be some other person. You don't even allow your mind to think, you know what? There could be somebody else. Oh my God. So they get to be scot the fuck free. All these people doing this investigation, listening to caricature. And caricature is Willie D. Because he doesn't know how to enunciate, much like Ben Crump. I think they might be brothers. We're brothers. They could be brothers. Okay. But don't even think about that. They won't even listen to the fact that at this point, the mother, because the father don't say shit. The mother hasn't even given the phone up, but she got time to be on the fucking internet boo-bearing it up and shit. And y'all okay with that? It don't matter. She a black woman phenotypically, because she's actually part Asian. And ain't no Asians out here with y'all to say nothing, to help out, to protest, to look into, to be outraged with. It's just the blacks as usual. And like I said, now it shows, who's in charge of this.
Black women are the leaders of this culture. And if we aren't happy and satisfied, it's going down.
That's who's in charge of the culture in the community. And if you really are paying attention or you have some sense, you know that this is all political at the end of the day. Not saying that about his parents, but about all the other race hustlers as per usual. It's political. Keep black people scared. Feed them racism. Blame Donald Trump. White people. Vote Democrats because Democrats love black people. I'm sure you all know that Democrats love you so much. Shout out to Joe Biden. Poor Joe Biden. Shout out to Cam. They love you so much. Shout out to the black sassy straights who are here. You're loved so much so that they still talking shit about you while you're alive. And like I said before, imagine if these biatches gave this much effort into relationships. I wonder if it would work out more so than it actually seems to be working out now. Imagine if they put this much effort into their relationships. Nope, would rather fight for some shit for a stranger. No shade against Nolan. Would rather put this energy towards a stranger instead of the fucking person in front of your face, specifically your baby daddy, your husband, or any other black man. Disparage y'all all day long, half the damn night, 15 times on Sunday. But when you die, allegedly by a white person or the oppressor, oh my God, we gotta fight for him. Justice for insert black man's name. Justice for whoever. And then Ben will come to ya. And then Al will come to ya. And then all the other regular smegulars, like Colin Kaepernick, who's going to go and put money towards the autopsy, the second autopsy, right? While he puts out a documentary talking about how being on the football team, the NFL, is like slavery. It's a slave plantation. It's slavery, I tell you. It's slavery. Oh, but I want to get back into that slavery. But it's slavery. It's slavery. But I'm fighting every day to get back into that slavery. And y'all listen to that nigga. Child, please. Shout out to RB and Colors. Love to be scammed.
right?
100%.
Right. So if the friends left the island at the time that they say they left the island, right? Look, there is definitely like a question, like what happened here, right? I mean, he's talking to this woman. He didn't apparently talk to her for that long. He decided to stay on the island or stayed on.
Shout out to Katie. Where is Katie? Oh yeah, that's right. She don't have to talk to people on TikTok, even though people on TikTok seem to think that they some authority on something.
On the island, whatever the case may be. But you're right. We don't know then what happened after that. But that's a separate question from saying, oh, well, I'm suspicious of the friends because they made a phone call or because, you know, all these wacky conspiracy theories out there. So we just need to separate out the desire to have a little bit of a better understanding of what could have happened to Nolan versus pointing the finger at the friends.
Before we wrap things up, there's one overarching question I've had for weeks now. Do you think that if there are no criminal charges from the grand jury, if the autopsy
I'm sorry, y'all. Why does this guy remind me of Beavis or Butthead? Is this the guy that's on Fox News? Is that who this guy is? Because he so reminds me of either Beavis or Butthead. But he's got a long head. Or Jeff Probst a little bit.
From the state shows this was an accidental drowning. Is that going to be the end of the story? Or do you
let me go ahead and answer that. No.
You think that people out there, maybe even the family, will not accept that?
No way it's going to be the end of the story because as you know, Jesse, medical examiner reports are often ambiguous, right? There are often different ways to interpret it, right? So, you know, the medical examiner really is going to assess, was it a homicide or not, right? Meaning, did he die at the hands of someone else or not? And if there is no evidence that this was a homicide in a typical investigation, that would kind of be the end of it, right? Which is, it's not a homicide. No one killed him. So time to move on. I don't think that's going to happen here in particular because of the racial angle on this. I think Ben Crump is stating that, right? Ben Crump is saying, is lumping this case in with other cases of Black late teens boys in Mississippi who he thinks the investigations have not been thorough enough. I think that this investigation is going to be as thorough as it can be. And my guess is that there's going to...
You know, shout out to Nolan. Nolan was out in these streets, okay? Nolan was in these streets, okay? He was everywhere with everybody. I mean, when you look at all these pictures and who they come from, this is Javon, the other one is the mom, the other one is the ones from the boys. Like, he was out here. Not in a negative way, but he was an active kid for sure. As teenagers' lives should be. They should be out having fun with their friends. Yeah, they get into trouble. Yeah, they do things they're not supposed to do. We know he was overall a good kid for sure. So at least he had a good life, unlike some of these, you know, some of these crazy people that's doing crazy shit.
To be a level of dissatisfaction no matter what they come up with. But look, people like you and me, we focus on facts and evidence, right? We don't get into the conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Unless they've got some evidence behind them, right? I mean, I'm game to go down any rabbit hole where you show me evidence. But when you say to me, oh, because there have been two medical examiners who've examined the body. Oh, well, you know, in between the time of the first medical examiner and the second medical examiner, there were parts of the body that appeared maybe were missing. And that's what happens, right, with medical examiners. And what I'm afraid of is that that's going to just turn into conspiracy theories that are not evidence, that are not facts. And I think it's really, really important. And I think you've been doing a really good job of this, is that we always sort of bring it back to that. We bring it back to, whoa, let's not go off on crazy rabbit holes unless we got some facts or evidence behind it.
And that's why I think when Ben Crump held that press conference about the autopsy, it would have been great if a medical examiner actually gave that report as opposed to Ben Crump, even though he tried to temper it, you know, about missing body parts. I heard a gasp in the audience, but like you said, that's usually standard. But listen,
nobody was trying to hear that. Nobody was trying to hear that. They just took that away, just like people in this chat right now talking about the same dumb shit. It's like they only hear what they want to hear and don't want to hear the fucking explanation for the shit. Even his dumb ass with his mush mouth gave you the explanation, but he allowed it to get out there like that and didn't really no, he knew what he was doing.
As Dan Abrams always said,
for the second medical
the second autopsy, right. Yeah. And as Dan Abrams always says, when he concludes a case, as he concludes a story, we shall see. We shall see. So Dan,
yeah, we shall see. We already know. Trust me when I tell you, chat. Anyway, let's go to Nancy Chow. Nancy had the lawyers on. So, hold on a second. Okay, Nancy had the lawyers on. It just came out. It says Nolan Wells' bombshell, friend's lawyer strikes back. All right, let's hear it.
There's a big honking mark, subcutaneous deep reddening tissue on his occipital. If I hit somebody in the back of the head, it'd be right there.
There was no indication that there was any kind of contusions on the hand, the arm, no kind of defensive event.
Back to Officer Tatum, star of the Officer Tatum.
Uncle Rick, the mama hasn't given the phone over to the police. You remember that conference that Ben had in front of the courthouse? They said, we're going to get it all together. We're all going to meet together and take a look at the phone. It's never happened. So that's what's going on, is that people have found out that the phone has never been assessed. So how can people say that something's been taken away from it, deleted from it, and they haven't had it investigated? Which I say they could have went straight to AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, or whoever, but they ain't do it. But they want to get to the bottom of it, but they ain't do it. I'm just saying.
On YouTube, have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's from what you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed? Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot of take a test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lot of tech tests and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lot of tech tests. It's not a traditional lot of tech test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot of tech tests. It's a different methodology. Yeah, I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze.
So then the answer to did they take a polygraph would be no. That is Officer Tatum from the Officer Tatum on YouTube. Joining us tonight are two very special guests. Why
does she look like a witch at all times? Shout out to Ebony. I appreciate you, hon. She said, wondering if this sad story will be pushed to November, draining all the resources from the funds. You know it will be. You know it will be. It will be. It will be. For sure. Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. Shout out to Mika. Thank you, boo. She said, showing love to the GOAT. Ring the justice bell. Shout out to you. Shout out to Mika in the building. Shout out to all of y'all. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are normal.
We are convinced of the...
Him in this hat, though. Come on, Cole Cox.
Friends. And when I say quoties, I don't mean they are or they're not friends, because I don't know. The young men on the Triton...
Wait, she don't know if they're friends. Girl!
On the Triton boat that took Nolan Wells to Horn Island. Many argue he was on the boat on the return when foul play occurred. Many argue he was not. In fact, the timeline has blown up because there are reports that Nolan Wells was seen on the island after the friend's boat left, which would exonerate them. Is that true? I don't know, and I'm trying to find out. For me, nobody's guilty, and everybody's a suspect because we don't know the truth yet. But we will. Joining us tonight, Tyler Cox, the lawyer for...
If you're going to say everybody is a suspect, then say everybody is a suspect, but that's not what's being said. G-Dubs, thank you for the gold coin, Jules. I appreciate you. Is that what she said? Because I'm like, yeah, why is she honing in on that? She said a lie detector, and then she switched it to a polygraph. Like the polygraph is the best test ever. Girl, is she a lawyer, y'all? Or used to be a lawyer? Because she act like a witch.
Several of the young men with the law firm Taylor and Cox, him being the Cox. Also with us, another veteran trial lawyer, Edward Pulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Actually, they're not boys. They're adults in the eyes of the law due to their age. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. My first...
Frontal lobe, girl. Frontal lobe. Thank you, boo. You're good.
First question to clear up this matter. Have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test. And I can tell you why. Because any lawyer worth their salt is going to tell their clients not to take a polygraph test under any circumstances. Two of my clients went in and made statements with me. We're not going to do a polygraph test because, one, as you know, they're not admissible in court. And so it wasn't going to be admissible anyway.
No polygraph test. No polygraph test.
Never, ever, if you're a lawyer, allow your clients to take a polygraph test. Now, we allowed investigators from the jump to have access to their phones, their Life 360, everything. We have cooperated implicitly.
They gave them the phones. So they got all their phones, Life 360, child. This is the most I've ever heard of Life 360 in my life. but I don't have minor children. But so they gave up the phones. The police have seen the phones. So if they was gonna go, if they come to the grand jury and say that we think they did it, then I'm sure that's what will happen then.
Every step of the way. But no, they didn't take polygraph tests. But what I'll tell you is one of the other boys, who I won't mention their name, but I'm sure that you've heard, took one. The girl that Nolan was with took a stress analysis voice test, and so did the other boy. So that's the test they took. Both of them passed.
A stress analysis test, child. Look at lawyers lawyering, though. Just like I think it was Random Angel said. First she said lie detector, then she changed it to polygraph. He said no polygraph, but a stress determination or whatever he called it. Yeah, I'm sure all the people, all the investigators and lawyers on TikTok know all this type stuff.
And so, again, no lawyer worth the salt is going to tell his clients to take a polygraph test or anything like that.
I would like to corroborate part of what Tyler Cox just said. Any defense attorney, whether they're convinced, truly convinced their client is innocent or guilty, they're not going to allow a poly. I've never seen that. I've had a couple of lawyers, maybe 3, in all the years I practiced, all the people I put behind bars, consent before trial to a poly. 3. And they were all criminal cases that carried severe penalties. So what he's saying is true. Even if you think your client is innocent, very rarely will you see a defense lawyer say, sure, take a poly. However, I disagree with you regarding their admittance into court. Polygraphs are allowed in civil trials. O.J. Simpson, he flunked horribly. And if both sides stipulate,
let that man rest in peace,
to the polygraph's admittance before the polygraph is taken, it can come into a criminal trial. The reality is that never happens. That never happens.
Right. At the time that we first cooperated with police, the first very week, the days after, just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking.
Wait. This is from Christine's Facebook? Well, maybe she just put these pictures up. All
Sure.
right.
Just 1 to 2 days after the disappearance of Nolan Wells, we're not thinking about a civil suit. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about how can we provide as much information to authorities so that they can find Nolan Wells. And it was not until after we spoke to officers and investigators that Nolan, unfortunately, his body was found on Horn Island, washed up. And it's unfortunate. And I hate that for Nolan because by all accounts, he was an incredible person. He was just truly remarkable in almost every sense of the word. But I mean, we're not thinking about a civil suit at that point in time. We're trying to help authorities find a friend who we can't find either.
What would they need to have a civil suit for? I'm sure that the parents will have one from based off of what they did on the day of the funeral, go down to the courthouse so that they can get it in place. They admitted that. To sue. Wrongful death, I'm sure.
Edward Polczyk joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this. I can tell you that it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer,
well, I want to
that's
protect
just
the names.
igniting me to find out how you got involved in the case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you,
Girl, move on to something important anyway.
a close friend who knows the Ocean Springs, Mississippi community very, very well, is from the area. Connected.
So another lawyer reached out to get a lawyer that's a good lawyer, a better lawyer. Okay, child, why is this got to be a big thing for her? She getting on my nerves. I'm about to shut this shit down. I'm about to shut Nancy down for real. She got about 5 good minutes if she don't get it together.
Me to a friend of his, and then I found myself speaking to Tyler here, and Tyler and I instantly became very close friends. We both have blue pickup trucks, so now we're the Blues Brothers. We just became very close. We hit it off.
Sir, please move on, Cox. Please. You're getting on my nerves now, too.
Then I had the opportunity to speak to Warren,
Why does he look like he belong on the Water Boy? I think we mentioned that the other day. Like, is he Bobby Boucher or something? This is a lawyer here. I mean, I know it is, but
Morgan, speak to Jax, and we hit it off also. And I immediately realized these are incredibly fine young men. I realized right away I wanted to help them out.
Ed, to you and Tyler, I'm not saying they have lied, and I'm not saying they haven't lied. I don't know. I have no reason to disbelieve your clients or to believe them.
Child, she sound like Al Sharpton right now. Come on, girl.
But you do know that people can look you right in the face and lie through your teeth, and you believe them. I've done it. I've had witnesses that I found out were lying to me, and it was a huge blow. I've had police officers. I worked a child trafficking case. My first child trafficking case. Worked it. I finally found the little girl. I went into a room full of sex workers. They went, she's in there. I'm like, there's no child in there. They went, she's the one in the white boots. She looked like she was 38 years old. She's 14. That said, we won the case. But fast forward about 10 months later, I was walking through the grand jury room.
Okay, does she just want to talk about her life when she was in law? Girl, we ain't here to talk about you.
And I saw these horrible federal court sketches. I'm like, oh my stars, is that who I think it is? It was my vice cops. They'd been stealing from dopers, and they got indicted by the feds. And I had been out on the street with them every day for months trying to prove a child trafficking case. So just because somebody tells you the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Well, I can tell you this: they were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th, and Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CETO?
We have witnesses, among other things, but I can also tell you this: they were off the island at 4:30 p.m. and Nolan Wells was seen alive by multiple people at 6 p.m. still on the island.
Of which we already know, but you know, the people who want it to be others just continue to say it and just ignore what they don't want to hear, which is why this man is here now for these defamation lawsuits. Just put the defamation lawsuits out, Bobby Boucher.
And I'm sure Tyler would be happy to elaborate on that. But this is a no doubt 100%.
Please tell me, Tyler,
yes.
because I don't believe any of these people, and I don't disbelieve any of these people. I want to hear about witnesses that spotted him alive after 4:30, because I believe I can confirm the boat left around 4:30. And I'm referring to the Triton. That's the boat they were on. There are a lot of boats. Let's see the video of all the boats out there. So when I say Triton, I'm talking about the boat Nolan was on the way to the island. There's a lot of boats out there and a lot of witnesses too. This is from the Officer Tatum. Okay, there are witnesses placing him there at 6. And I want to be very clear, gentlemen, that I'm not convinced he drowned just because somebody said so. Even if he did drown, that does not mean that there wasn't foul play. Why is that mark on the back of his head? Was he hit on the head and fell in the water? Was he held under the water? Was it an accident? I don't know. But I am very interested in witnesses that place him alive at 6 p.m. Please tell me, Tyler Cox.
So, Nancy, look, we have had multiple witnesses reach out to us, 2 confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th, well after the Triton, as you said, left.
It says Presley Sucko. Who the hell is Presley Sucko? You mean there was somebody else that Nolan was with? I'm telling you, he was living his best life, y'all, around all these whack.
Around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. We've cooperated 100%. So has
Where did they see him, Tyler Cox? Where did the witnesses see them? Do they know him well enough to make a positive ID? Hey, speaking of a positive ID, control room, please pull up a photo that we showed a couple of days ago. There are 2 or 3 women, white females, walking along the beach, as I recall, each clad in a bikini. There is one, I believe, a white male and one.
Child, why the hell she say it like that? In a bikini. Child, they on the beach. It's the 4th of July. What they supposed to have on winter coats? Y'all, she trying my patience. She is trying my patience.
Black male walking with them. That, can you zoom in a little bit? That's not really helping me that much. For instance.
Would she want to look at him because that's what she used to look like back in her better days? Why she want to zoom in on these girls in their bikinis?
Did your witnesses know Nolan? Can they identify him? Because I'm looking right at this and I cannot identify if the male behind the female on the white, the female wearing a white hat, I can't tell if that's Nolan or not. It's a very blurry photo.
You don't even know him. How the hell would you know if it's him?
I can't make it out. So, do your witnesses know him? I mean, let me see my guess, please. Mr. Polsick, Mr. Cox, I know the 2 of you. I don't see both of them. There they are. The 2 of you have tried a lot of cases, as have I. To get in, or
you hear how she keep referring to what the hell she used to do? Child, this is just another biatch worrying about herself and her heyday. Your heyday is over. The only hay you got is on your head, child. This is not about you. Can she stay focused?
Hack an eyewitness. You, and it's in the code, the official code of Mississippi Annotated.
Nisha!
There are prescribed methods under which you cross-examine an eyewitness. For instance, does the witness know the target? Was the lighting sufficient? How far away was the...
All right, I've had enough. She's not doing anything but just being a bitch. What good is that going to do? You don't even give them a chance to say anything. It could be this or could be that. It might not be this, but it might not be. Let me go to Tatum, child. Lord, help your people. He's still alive, it looks like. Breaking, Nolan's mom refused to hand over Nolan's phone to the police, child.
So you can digest it in a different fashion. First things first, let's talk about Don Lemon Juice that mentioned me on the show. They always mention me on the show. Now they claim they don't want to say my name. Look, bro, I'm doing real
and yeah, and they'll still use your shit. All the people that can't stand Tatum, but they certainly will use his shit now, won't they, dummies?
Journalists
Give that man his money. Keep watching this shit over and over and over again.
Journalism, and that's the reason why you have to talk about the things that are going on, because I'm willing to do journalism. The crazy thing is that I reached out to Benjamin Crump. I reached out to the other side. We've sent messages to Don Lemon. We are interested in letting the truth be known across any platform, anytime, anywhere. Now, you losers, I'm not going to go on your platform because you got 3 followers and you're disingenuous. But for any of the people who claim to be legitimate journalists, I'm willing to do an interview on your channel. Are they willing to do an interview on my channel? Are they willing to do interviews on anybody's channel? Are they willing to interview anybody associated with this?
No.
I have been an open book from the very beginning. I'm willing to interview anybody. The problem is there are certain people that don't want to be interviewed. There's certain people that don't want to go on my platform, which is fine. You don't have to. But don't act like you're a journalist when you won't even interview these boys, and I did. Put Don Lemon Juice on that. Roll the clip.
So I want you to listen to this and then the response from
Don, the black savior. The black savior that tells you coloreds that white people are a problem while he goes home and bangs a white man every night. But y'all keep listening to these people. They're the truth. They only want the truth because he's black and I'm black and everybody's black. So he got to be the truth. We're going to listen to Don, A, B, C, D, Lennon that say that white people are a problem. You know, white people are an issue. You know, all the racist white people. Not my white person. The ones y'all hang out with. Not my white person. Yeah, the ones y'all hang out with. Not my white person. He good. He good. Oh, he's good. My white man is good. Those white people ain't no good. You can't trust them. All this racism with these white people. All this racism going on. So y'all can't stand Tatum with his white wife, but you're okay with Don Lemon and his white husband. Make it make sense.
the legal team representing the Wells-Wansley family. Here it is.
Was Nolan Wells, were there messages missing out of his...
Let me put the context here. So Don Lemon played a clip of the boys' lawyers, Tyler Cox and Ed Pausick. They did an interview on somebody's show on Sirius Radio, and they gave some answers to some of the questions that I think everybody should still be questioning at this point. And it's going to blow your mind at the reality that the family have not turned over Nolan's phone to investigators. That means a month into this, accusations of a crime will never be investigated because they will not turn it over to law enforcement. How are you going to present this to a grand jury and you claim that there's evidence of impropriety, criminal activity, tampering with evidence, deleting things from a phone is a crime? And the family is saying, and the family attorney is saying there's a crime that's committed, but they're unwilling to send the information to investigators to investigate, to make arrests in this case. It is blowing my mind. So Don Lemon addressed that, roll it.
Phone and
Don Lemon getting his back blown out by a racist.
The second thing,
Absolutely
photos
not.
have come out. Yeah, they're saying that there were messages missing off of his phone. His phone was wiped. And another thing, there's pictures of
His phone is white. There's racism with the phone too.
with the modern day with people with cell phones and social media. There's phones or there's pictures with adults on that boat. There, and one of the adults they're even saying is like an affluent crowd, much businessmen. They were saying it's just kids, but they're adults there.
Right, but here's the thing: they're saying. I don't know who the they is, but go ahead. Tyler, you want to take this one? Or
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. I saw a headline a few weeks back that said Ben Crump and the family is going to allow the Jackson County Sheriff's Office access to Nolan's phone. You know what I never heard? I never heard him follow through with that. I have reason to believe, and I do believe, that they have not cooperated with law enforcement. I do not think that they have turned in Nolan's phone. And I'm willing to bet my reputation on it. I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department has. So how can you say that there's text missing or there's photographs missing? Our boys had no reason to do anything with Nolan's phone other than give it back to Christine and her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
Edward, go ahead.
I'll just add something. And again, this is why you have to
hold on,
have to
Andy.
be-
So just folks are asking what we're listening to. And again, I explained in the beginning, if you're not here in the beginning, you probably didn't know. This is an interview with the attorneys for the boys on Dan Abrams' Sirius XM show. And they are saying that the family has not turned over the phone, Nolan Wells' phone. And they are saying that, to their knowledge, and that there were not any missing text messages or anything that was wiped or scrubbed. That's what they are saying. So this is a letter.
So now he has to eat crow in part because they've been blasting and saying this stuff all over the media, putting these boys in a negative position because they either don't do enough research or they have not spoken to anybody else but their echo chamber intentionally. And so they don't have the information out there. So they're giving their audience the impression that there's some legitimacy to stuff being deleted. And then they wonder why people are coming after the family to a certain degree because you're like, well, wait a minute. I thought you want justice.
Tatum, what is wrong with you? They are getting justice right here. They're getting justice right here. Where, Tatum, this is what it's about. Play on the heartstrings of everyone. Call everything racist and keep raising the GoFundMe. That is now to $950,000, and it's gonna get to $1 million. They've already gotten $1 million if you count everything that came from the funeral and whatever else came from other places. The cost of the funeral that was paid for, the cost of the second autopsy. They're well over $1 million, gentlemen. Like I told you already 1 million times, you worth more dead, as long as it's a white person that allegedly did it. You worth more dead, and you worth a lot to the community once you're deceased, but only if by the oppressor or a white person, allegedly. Okay? All right. Tadisha finally here. Shout out to Tadisha. I know this don't work, but she said, what I missed. Girl, not Nancy Grace. That's for damn sure. Not no damn Nancy Grace. You missed nothing with that heifer. The mama hasn't turned over the phone. That's basically the breaking news. The phone that was wiped, the phone that's missing text messages, the phone. And everybody want to get to the bottom of it, because we know damn well if Crump had something done to the phone, he would have been out here talking sugar honey iced tea. He ain't said shit. But then again, he down there in Wisconsin now, y'all. He got bigger fish to fry right now.
Now, to prove the point, beyond a reasonable doubt, which is not the burden in this case, but not the burden at this point, because this is not even a criminal investigation, as we are realizing, is that Don Lemon had to come on and then read the letter from Nolan Wells' family representative regarding the fact that they have not given over the phone to investigators. Roll that clip.
From the attorneys who are representing the family. It says, please be advised that A.R. Smith Law PLLC has been retained to serve as a local counsel for the estate and family of Nolan Wells. Moving forward, I will be working alongside the legal team at the Ben Company. Goes on to say that. And it says, as a legal team has stated previously, including during our in-person meeting with Wells family and counsel, we have been and remain ready and willing to cooperate, arranging a joint forensics inspection of Nolan Wells' personal cell phone. During that meeting, we specifically discussed having an examination conducted through the digital forensics lab at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, as well as the possibility of FBI involvement in that process. Our position has not changed. We are prepared to coordinate a mutually agreeable date and procedure for the examination of the phone. Accordingly, to the extent there has been any suggestion that we have been unwilling to have or have failed to cooperate with the investigation, we want to make it clear, that this is not the case. He also previously indicated that Dr. Mitchell would be provided an opportunity to review the materials necessary for him to complete an autopsy review. We remain prepared to facilitate that process. Please provide us with available dates and times for Dr. Mitchell to review those materials, along with any instructions necessary to arrange his access. We would like to move both of these matters forward promptly and remain available to coordinate with your office. Very truly yours, Ahmed R. Smith, which is A.R. Smith Attorneys LLC. Okay, thank you.
All right, enough. I just want y'all to hear Don Lemon say it. Yeah, I just want y'all to hear Don Lemon read. He played the interview with the boys' lawyers, and he had to read the document that was sent out on the 11th, which was yesterday. If you're watching this on the 12th, it was yesterday. They sent out a letter, I think late in the evening, about the fact that they have not given over the phone. Now let's put this in perspective real quick.
Okay, so that's straight from the attorney for the family. So it's accurate information. Why? Everybody, we just want answers. We just want to get to the bottom of it. We want to know what happened to Nolan. How? You ain't even turned over the fucking phone. And whoever asked, when did it get up to 950? It went up 100,000 after the funeral pep rally. It went up another 100,000 at some other time. We just looked the other day. So it's now up to 950. I'm pretty sure as soon as it gets to 940, it'll be raised again. And this is why, because all these ambiguous stuff going on, letting people think and say whatever they want. Ain't nobody come out here and say stop it. Ben Crump ain't giving nobody nothing no more. Just let everybody fester. But raise the GoFundMe up another 100,000.
It's not an excuse to say, well, we don't trust the justice system to give his phone to them to do a forensic investigation. Well, then what you're saying is that
all he had to do, honestly, was call the damn what is it called? The phone company. Why can't the phone company just send the text messages and they say this was deleted, this was deleted, this was deleted, this wasn't deleted? You know what I mean? Child. Deborah Leonel. Child. Deborah, thank you, boo. They never turned over his phone. How do you want justice for your son, but you don't turn over his phone? My God. Girl, because why would you do that when you can get this? Why would you do that when you can get this? They're over $1 million in. They're already over $1 million in. This is working out very well for them, girl. Now, listen, I'm not saying that they don't want to know what happened, but it's like, it's no rush. We'll just wait it out. We'll keep saying stuff. We'll keep festering, get people festering, put out a nugget here, of a nugget there. But until the Mississippi, I don't know, police, I don't know what they're called, get their shit done, of which I just heard someone say, who was it? I forget who it was. A lawyer that said that, actually, I think it was Don Lemon talking to TMZ. Somebody was talking to TMZ, and they said that it could take up to 8 weeks to get toxicology, which we already talked about a few weeks ago. So until they get that, they're not going to release anything because they got to send it to grand jury to decide if they're going to charge anybody, depending on what they've gotten, since they've talked to everyone, even though the sleuths of social media swear they know so much. We're owed nothing. We are owed absolutely nothing to this point. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Ciao. But let's make sure we keep this going here. Back to Tatum, ciao. Come on.
You're not willing to accept anything that they're going to say. This is par for the course, in my opinion, with Benjamin Crump. No criminal justice, only payouts and money grab. It appears to me that they only want lawsuits against these boys, wrongful death suits, and money. It's not finding out what happened to Nolan. The first thing, this is my opinion, the first thing I would do, because I have no evidence that the current government in place in Mississippi that's doing the investigation in this county has shown the level of impropriety that I cannot trust them to do a basic investigation. Now, they do the investigation and they do something nefarious. The federal government can do oversight and investigate them if they've done something you believe that is untoward.
I think you missed the part where Crump said that their attorney and attorney on the other side would come together and give up the phone and they would both look at it. Now, mind you, I don't know how the hell somebody looking at that phone gonna tell something was deleted or not, which is why it's like, shouldn't y'all be going to the phone company? I think they know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the phone company knows. So why is no one going to the phone company? These people get paid all this money and people just really act like they're doing the right thing. Okay.
Why would you not let them investigate the phone so they can determine something was deleted so they can go and arrest people for obstruction of evidence? I know why. I'm just trying to get y'all up to speed. Now, this is the thing that disappointed me probably the most out of this garbage show and interview is the guy from TMZ. Put him on the camera. Why y'all got to be fake all the time? We have been working with TMZ. I've done an interview with TMZ. We've leaked stuff to TMZ. They've used our materials on.
Wait. What you mean you leak stuff to TMZ? What is going on? What is going on?
On their platform to dispel lies. But all of a sudden they can't say my name. But you can take our evidence and present it in authenticated way to this.
Sir, you're married to a white woman. I don't know why you're conservative and you're married to a white woman. No black person gives a damn about anything you got to say. And you're MAGA and you like Donald Trump, okay? Let's not act like you don't know what's going on around here, all right? They would rather listen to pro-blacks like Don Lemon, who says, oh, white people are bad. White people, you're so bad. You ain't shit. You ain't about shit. And all you do is want to delete black people. Then goes home to his white man and says, hey, baby, hey. And does the wild thing. But the rest of the whites are all racist. Oh, unless you're married to Kendanji. Oh, unless you're married to Cam. Oh, unless you're married to Venus. Oh, unless you're married to Serena. Unless you're married to Eve. Black man married to white woman? No. Black men are only good when they're deceased, y'all. You see what Nolan has produced? Rest in peace to Nolan. But do you see what he has produced? You see what George Floyd produced? Not them actual, but you know what I'm saying? You see what George Floyd produced? Whatever the other ones' names are, child, because I can't remember all these names, but that's the only time a black man is decent and good enough is when he's deceased.
Prove people are lying on y'all with our evidence. I was wondering why TMZ didn't interview me on the main interview. They don't want truth to be out there. They want to continue to push a narrative because it's lucrative, ladies and gentlemen. It's lucrative. You know how much money I would be making if we drew this out? My team know this. If we drew it out, we waited for every little thing to come out and go, oh, breaking news. We don't know what's going on. Wow, a new video have emerged. We don't do that because the video is not consequential And it's a video that have been resurfaced 6 times already. But they will report on it 6 separate times to push an agenda. Because it's money in this, y'all. And it's the reason why I believe the family can't trust every outlet to put the content out there in a fair way so that boys cannot be victimized anymore. Let's play the first clip of this fool. And now I think I call him a fool. Oh, well, I don't want to mention his name. All right, roll it.
What do you make of this?
I mean, it sounds like the family, I think you nailed it, saying that they're willing to work with the authorities, but they don't trust the authorities. And what I heard, the key thing there is they said they're willing to do a joint forensic examination of the phone. It does sound like they have been holding onto the phone. They don't want to give it to the authorities and let them and leave it to their device, to them to do their process.
He's saying 2 different things in the same damn sentence. Oh, they're going to give it up to the authorities at the same time. And they're going to have people look at it at the same time. And then they don't want to give it to authorities. Then you don't want to know what the hell happened. That's the bottom fucking line. Any of y'all that can't see that, then keep giving them your money. This is a fucking grift, period, point blank. Kid can't even rest in peace. Ain't going to get no resolve because whoever said that this shit is all over the place, at least out here anyway. But even no matter what they come back with, if it's not what the pros want, they're not going to go for it. And then all hell will break loose. I promise you, unfortunately, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because then it's all racist. And then everybody's a racist. And then it's about white people and what they do to black people. Forget all the shit that you see with Nolan and his friends. Forget everything. Forget how the family has done a great job, have been prospering in Mississippi, good old racist deep South Mississippi, where Medgar Evers was deleted. Emmett Till was deleted. Listen, somehow, some way, they was making their way. They was moving on up like the Jeffersons, okay? Now, they still haven't said that they believe that it's racist, but the blacks don't see that either. They haven't said that they think that it's racism, but because y'all want it to be that, you will run with this story. And then you pick and choose which white people can say something and which white people can't. So you got that Secret Service Sam, dumbass motherfucker, out here saying any old thing. Y'all love him just because he's the narrative that you want. But anybody else, then it's a problem. Got it. And this nigga who go home to a white man. Child.
Without having their own investigator there at the same time. So it sounds like, basically what they're saying is we'll hand over the phone, but we're going to send our forensic investigator too, and they will sit there with your investigators and go through the phone.
Time out. Let me tell you why they're wrong and they know nothing about police. I think he's talking out of his, you know what.
I think they only really need 4 days. Maybe Sunday, because 4th of July was on a Saturday. Maybe 5 days. Monday when he was found, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, and Thursday. Maybe the whole week before. I don't think they need a year from now, or the year from previous, though. I don't think there's a need for that.
If they have
but y'all, they got enough money, they can get it done.
Forensic investigator, which they don't, because their forensic investigator can do a forensic audit on the phone himself and present the findings to the world.
You mean Ben Crump's forensic investigator? Wow, what a concept.
What they're saying is they want somebody with the police department while they conduct a forensic investigation. Now, the type of precedent that they are seeking to establish is completely asinine. So every single person that ever gets a forensic audit on an item of evidence, which could create you as a suspect. Think about this. When you go do a forensic audit on the phone, you do a what we would consider to be a impartial forensic investigation. That means that nobody's a suspect or nobody's ruled out as a suspect. You bring the phone in, an independent audit happens to the phone, and the findings are investigated. Now, mind you, just imagine if the family decides that they think that they need a liaison in the middle of an investigation, and the findings come out, and I'm not saying this is true, but the findings come out that someone other than these boys deleted stuff off the phone. Mom deleted it. Let's say that his mom deleted it. And they find out that the phone was deleted while...
I was going to say they can find out where the deletion happened. Ping, 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 ping. People know this, right? We've heard it 1,000,001 times that the phone pings off of where it's at. So if they find out that the messages were deleted around her home, or what if they find out there are no messages deleted? She just thinks that that's what it is. But until you prove it, you can think whatever you want. But let the pros just go ahead with the narrative so they can keep donating. Get that shit up to 1 million. Shout out to GoFundMe.
While it was in the possession of the mom, she now is on the hook for potentially destroying evidence. They can't have you sitting there while they're investigating everybody involved. They need to do an independent forensic extraction of the phone and they have independent findings. You're not entitled to sit through an investigation and you could be a suspect. Just because your son passed away don't mean you can't be a suspect. I'm not saying you should, but the evidence may reveal some suspicious behavior from somebody X, Y, or Z. But they know that they're not going to get access to have a personal individual in the room. Think about this too. I just want y'all to understand this. Imagine this goes to trial. And the boys go, well, the victim's family had swayed the investigation by leveraging a person involved in the investigation directly, and they can argue that how do we know that this person didn't do any coercive behavior during this investigation? That means that a person on this side had active connection to an investigation that should have been impartial, and therefore this shouldn't be admissible in court. We can't rule out impropriety. They've already said we were guilty, and you got them being a part of the investigation.
All right, move this along.
Yeah. People have been arrested for threatening their lives. This is not a game. It's not a hunch. It's not I think that maybe people have gone to jail in connection with threatening the lives of Warren's stepmother. And we heard
3 people to date have been arrested.
We played it on the show. People calling and leaving messages threatening to kill Warren, his family. And as soon as they're investigated and found, they're going to go to jail. That's like 6, 7 people are going to go to jail for legitimate threats. And you go, well, they feel like that. No, you disparage them. With no information, you had every reason to communicate with the other side. You didn't. You put out information claiming, oh, we don't know why this happened.
I see the delusionals are here. The friends didn't get him any help. When he was on the island and they was home. Y'all really do be believing these motherfuckers like that. Child, it's amazing how dumb people are and don't want to listen to the actual facts and just want to believe whatever's in their delusional ass head. Gemini, thank you for the Silver Star, boo. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, hit the dislike button, subscribe if you are normal.
Well, we don't know who this person is. You do know, but you put it out there and put these boys' lives in danger.
That could be a thing, Darwinkus. Sorry. That actually could be a thing, which is like, just say there was naked girls on the phone. Is that abnormal? Listen. I just say naked girls. You're right. It could be something else. Allegedly. I ain't say nothing. I'm just saying. Chris Cross, thank you for the Silver Star.
And if you ask me, get a big screen. I want you to clip this. If you ask me, I believe it is detrimental to Nolan, the things that the family and what Benjamin Crump has done. It's not in the best interest of Nolan. The best interest of Nolan is actually getting to the bottom of this. The best interest of Nolan is actually giving some level of respect to people who he called a friend, people that he believed in.
Yeah, well, they're not concerned with that, child. Let it go.
But now every week, another friend sits down, and now they've got this lawyer, and
somehow it was no another week.
Why do I see Don Lemon's name and now I think of lemon pepper chicken wings? I feel like I'm hungry now.
And another friend sits down, and another friend sits down. I did one with Warren, and I did one with the other 2 boys. That's 2 interviews. It's not another week, and then another week, and then another week. Well, why you being disingenuous? Road clip.
Sitting down and doing interviews. It's weird to me. And it's not just weird. Yeah, there are people who are going to say things on the internet. Why does that rise to the level of you need an attorney to now sit down and do interviews to publicize yourself, to try and change the court of public opinion? Why do you care about a court of public opinion? Because you didn't do anything. And ultimately, if you didn't do anything, and maybe they didn't, let's take them at their word, their attorney, that they didn't have anything to do with Nolan's death. That's all going to come out when the result.
Are y'all stupid or you dumb or evil?
Both. All 3.
Or all 3. You're a grown man. You know better than that. You know for a fact that Nolan's mom took an estate out in his name. They sent documents to Ashley Cole and I believe more people and some of these boys' family members saying that you need to obtain or preserve text messages, phone records, all this other stuff they sent in a declaration to them in preparation to sue them for killing Nolan, destroying evidence. They're not just out here saying, I don't like the way people think about me. They're preparing to sue them. They're claiming they're going to sue them.
Tatum, they're white. They're not allowed to defend themselves. What is wrong with you? You've been married to that white woman long enough to know how this works. If the blacks say that you're wrong, then you're wrong. Or it's racism. It's a racism anyway. Okay? Always racism, white supremacy, all of it. All right? They got to sit and take it because of slavery and Jim Crow and Redline and Child and all that. They're supposed to take it. This is reparations. You know that's what it is. Don't act like you don't know. Now he acting like he ain't never been black.
Disparaging these boys' character with no evidence.
Gemini.
Of course they're going to defend themselves. How you grown? I lost all respect for this guy. I'll still hold on to the other guy, TMZ. This guy, what are you talking about, brother? Keep it rolling.
Of the autopsy come out, when the investigation comes out. So why are you now getting? It's almost like I get like this attorney has probably convinced them, yes, do this and talk about this and it'll change public opinion. But what it really does, it makes some people will look at it and go like,
oh, Jim, are you upset? Make me, bitch ass.
Well, what are you getting out in front of? If you didn't do anything, there's nothing to get out in front of. So in some ways, it can backfire on you.
They're not getting out in front of nothing. They're responding to things that y'all didn't put out there, that others have put out there. They're responding. They're not coming up with anything new. You guys claim they deleted stuff on their phone. Now they hired an attorney and y'all mad.
Yeah, exactly. What do they have to hire an attorney for? What do they have to hire an attorney for? Because child, most of y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. They should just take it. Just take it. You're white. You'll be all right. Child.
People are prepping to sue them for wrongful death suit.
Oh, you hurt my feelings by being racist. Oh, the white man is upset. The white man in the chat is upset. Oh, poor thing. Still here though, ain't you, bitch ass?
And you're saying they shouldn't have an attorney. You don't know why they out here defending themselves. You don't know why they out here telling their side of the story. Because the whole world think they killed this boy. They can't even go to restaurants and stuff without people accosting them. Tracy can't even go get a Gatorade from a corner store without somebody saying your money's no good here. Somebody confronting him, asking, was he Trayvon? Roll the clip.
It's just weird to me. And then you also run the risk of what did happen is that one of these kids sits down and blasts Nolan's mom and says that she was wrong to put out that photo. And that's not going to play well in the public for you, man. That you're attacking the mother.
The public doesn't matter. Why do people be worrying about the damn public? The public knows nothing. The public doesn't matter. Oh my God, child.
I'm gonna let. I don't got time. We got to get to more stuff. What do you mean? See, you guys are the mind haven't matured in these men. You don't have a mature mindset. You are fair game. I don't care what side you on. If you go and put false information into the public when you had every reason and right to communicate before you ever put it out there. So when you go take a photo that was given to you because it was about Nolan and you blasted friends and put their face out there, you didn't even blur their faces. You put the face out there and then you allow Benjamin Crump to go in front of the world and invoke.
Wait, who allowed Benjamin Crump? I don't think anybody allowed Benjamin Crump nothing. I think Crump does what he wants. Who allowed Benjamin Crump?
Emmett Till and invoke that Mississippi is racist. This is why you can't go nowhere with a bunch of white boys and then you don't come back with
don't forget, black people, Florida is racist. The NAACP said you can't go there, don't go there, don't live there, don't move there, don't swim there, don't cruise there, don't do nothing there because it's racist there. Now, they didn't tell us where it's not racism. So you can't go to Mississippi because it's racist. I'm sure Texas is on the list. You can't go to Florida. I'm sure Georgia's probably on the list. Shout out to all the Georgians up in here. So your choices are probably California. Nope. New York. Nope. Where? Boston or Massachusetts. Nope. Or any of New England. Nope. What's left? What's left? Child, you can't go nowhere, all this racism, child. Oh, Africa, but the Africans said that the blacks are not allowed to come back there. Larry Reed said that the blacks need to leave the United States and go to Africa, and the Africans said, keep your black asses over there. Shout out to Lawrence. Thank you so much, Boo. I appreciate you. He said, guarantee that's probably why they raised that GoFundMe, and it's near $1 million. She's going to need all of it to fight in court. That's not the reason that they have it, but it may end up being utilized for that reason. Also, Auntie, could she be called to testify on her oath to discuss her history as well? I don't know. I'm just a lawyer on YouTube. I don't know. But that thing with the phone is very suspect. It's very suspect. And the fact that she can say whatever she wants, and the people that she be talking about can't say anything back is wild to me. And people that think that they can say what they want, and then the people that they're talking about can't say something back or defend themselves. Y'all crazy, child. Wild. Tatum, you need to calm down. Let's move this along, y'all. You getting on my nerves too. Who is this? Did he talk to them? All right.
But what came up from the interview was the cell phone of Nolan Wells. And it appears, which I'm shocked that this is a reality, it appears that the family of Nolan Wells have not given his phone over to investigators to even look at a potential crime that they claim was committed by deleting contents from his phone. What do you have to say to that, Tyler?
Well, I think it's strange too. We were all told by Ben Crump from the steps of the courthouse in a public address I think that was on July 11th, after he met with DA Angel Myers, that they were going to cooperate and give the phone over. I don't understand why just now, just I guess last night, it came out that they haven't. And so I don't understand why they haven't gave the phone over when our clients, Morgan, Jackson, Warren, have fully cooperated with investigators. I don't understand why we have to do phone dumps, or people feel like we need to do phone dumps and phone extractions and give the Life 360 and the Snapchat information and GPS information. We've done all that, plan on doing as much more as anything they asked us to, but I don't understand why they haven't.
Hey, he has a desk like mine. I love it. I love it. My chair is not as good as his, though.
Cooperated, given in no one's phone yet. I'm at a loss for words with that one.
Tyler, are these boys at all, from your understanding, obviously you're their attorney representing them along with Ed, are they being investigated as suspects in a crime?
No. Just to put it as plainly as possible, they are.
Uh-oh, that's new information. They are not being investigated for a crime. The lawyer said so. Uh-oh.
Not being investigated as suspects. In Jackson County, anytime there's what we call a unnatural death, the DA's office presents the information they have on that to the grand jury that's impaneled. And so this is one of those cases. This is not a criminal case now. I don't know if it will be later, but I can tell you it won't be when it comes to Warren, Jax, and Morgan.
Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting findings that I came to realize after doing interviews, and there's been 2 of them now, and all of the young men have now talked to me on camera. I had a conversation with them the first time I interviewed Warren, but on camera. And it appears to me that this has gone beyond reality. When you have young men who are not even being investigated criminally, being defamed in the public. And I don't want to hear anybody say that they have not alluded to or flat out said that they killed Nolan. They, all the way from the CETO call to them claiming that there's video evidence of Nolan's leg on the boat, to them claims that there must have been impropriety, that there must have been deletions on the phone, which would implicate them in a crime, saying that they deleted, which would be damaging evidence or discard.
So Nolan took a picture of them while they were allegedly deleting him. So Nolan was taking pictures while the red rum was going on with his friends. So they had to delete the pictures that Nolan was taking while he was getting red rum. Seriously.
Regarding evidence or whatever you want to call it. Ed, I want to hear from you. How does this reach the level of defamation? And can you clear up, because people seem to be confused about defamation. They seem to be confused at why the boys have hired you and have Tyler on their team and why they're doing interviews. Can you address that, Ed?
Sure, I'd love to. Thanks for that question. First of all, in order to be accusing somebody of an infamous crime or criminal activity, which of course is defamatory, it's not just the accusations that they participated in the murder of their best friend. It's more than just the accusations of murder. It's also accusations about destruction of evidence, tampering with evidence, engaging in a cover-up, which are of course all separate crimes. So we've got multiple levels of defamation. There are accusations of heinous crimes, infamous crimes, online, everywhere. It's like whack-a-mole. We don't even know where to begin. If you step back and you think about how vast the scope of defamation is in this case, it would overwhelm you. So instead, what we've been focusing on, we have been methodically identifying the worst offenders, right? And those worst offenders, those are going to be the first lawsuits. So that's number one. Then there's another level here, another very important topic. People are saying, oh, Warren and Jackson and Morgan, they thrust themselves into this controversy. They've made themselves into the story. They're sucking up all the oxygen. So that is the opposite of reality. That is completely false. That has nothing to do with reality. And that is just adding to the problem here. Here's what really happened. Here's the truth. Warren, Morgan, and Jax were private individuals, private citizens, anonymous individuals, anonymous citizens who were just living their lives. They never wanted this. They never invited this. They never asked for this. They were thrown to the wolves, thrown into the fire by these elixir salesmen, hucksters, vultures, opportunists, hustlers. Now, after they've been defamed, now they have an absolute right to defend their reputations, both in the courtroom and in the public square. They were forced into this, and they were forced to defend their reputations. And rest assured, they will defend their reputations to the maximum extent of the law. And that's exactly what Tyler and I are going to be doing over the next few months.
Shout out to Switchblade in the building. Thank you, Boo. You know what I find interesting here, as I'm listening to him go on and on and on, child, he put me to sleep too. It's okay for Colin Kaepernick to give up money to do this. It's okay for Tyler Perry to give up money to do this. Insert whatever the fuck they did. It's okay for Terrell Owens to give up money to do this. It's okay for Al to say, I'm going to give up some money to do this. The white boys get an attorney. Oh my God, they must be racist. They must be guilty. Really? Really? They should just sit there and take it. They shouldn't do anything. They shouldn't say anything. They racist. That means they guilty. The mama don't give up the phone. She don't have to give up nothing. She the one that said something happened to the phone. So as long as she knows it, I guess that's going to help the case. So, child, whatever. Don't make sense to me, but child, whatever. Y'all got whatever you got going on in your brains, and you refuse to see that there's a play going on with whoever. It don't make no sense. But because she black, phenotypically, and y'all black, allegedly, you got to believe. Because they white, you can't believe none of them. And Don Lemon go home to a white man, but you can believe him. Child, I got about 5 more minutes of this in me.
And I have to say, and I try to be as impartial as possible, when I talk to those young men and I see the hurt in their eyes, I'm listening to the genuineness in their statements, providing evidence, cooperating with law enforcement. This is such a terrible thing that have happened to these young men. They can't even go out to eat in some places without people accosting them for no reason. And you have to, and the way I look at it is that we would not be,
I'll call the oppressor.
People would not even be showing them stuff on the cell phone saying, is this you? Traston, and I know you guys don't represent Traston, but Traston going to a grocery store or a corner store to get a Gatorade is being refused because of why? It's not.
Fuck them. Don't go back.
It's not the police department.
Child, sue them too.
So then we're left to say, how did they get into this light? And I believe that a lot of it came from defaming
caricature
pictures that have been put out, insinuating. Here's the thing that I want you guys to talk about for the audience to understand is that there is a lot of people that claim to be journalists and they want to use their journalistic amendment, First Amendment right to say, well, I'm just asking questions. Well, I'm just, but I do think that some of it may have gone a little too far. Can you guys speak? I don't know if Tyler, Ed, whoever wants to take this. Can you guys speak to some of the people that think that they're going to be somehow hidden behind journalism and not be affected by some of the things that they've seen?
You mean some of the people that just came out and said, those boys read from Nolan? I ain't gonna say no names, but people out here declaring what happened and ain't retracting shit, even though it's too late, because I promise you, they already know. They already got names. Just like all the people that are giving names, I'm sure their names was given. I'm sure they took a look beforehand. Like, lawyers ain't dumb. Most of them. Nancy Grace, I don't know about her.
Said they've caused trauma to these young men.
Well, before Ed gets started, and he's really the go-to on this one, but I will say that I don't know if you remember this. I remember a time when journalists had credibility and they had integrity. A lot of these people online, they want to use the label of journalist, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. Look, we asked
like when Don Lemon ran into that church and tried to act like, oh, I'm a journalist. Nah, nigga, you ran up in that church and you know better. You knew better than that. Well, didn't he get arrested for that? Is he being prosecuted yet? Send that nigga to jail. He got a white husband. He'll be all right.
Absolutely have a First Amendment right.
Shout out to Chris for the jewels. Thank you, boo.
In this country, that you can say just about whatever you want. And you can lie. You can absolutely tell a lie. It's your First Amendment right to lie. But what you can't do is lie and hurt someone with that lie. That's not how this works. So I'll let Ed talk more about that, but you can't lie and hurt someone. That's rule number one.
Well, look, we're an open book. All of us, we're all open books. That's why we're willing to meet anybody, anyone, anywhere, anytime on any show, because we're telling the truth. And that goes for Warren, Morgan, and Jax too. That's why you see us everywhere this week, because we want to get the truth out. And we're going to take every opportunity to do so. And this is why we love evidence. This is why we want more.
But there's people out here who's still running off at the mouth and getting fired by their jobs in 2026. So why would anybody think that, that they just think they will get away with everything like everybody else does? They're not going to find me. Oh, okay. Whatever you say.
More evidence to come out. We want all the evidence to come out because we want to know how Nolan Wells tragically died. And when you have the truth on your side, it's very liberating. And it's a good feeling. And that's why we want the answers too. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it with humility, right? All along, we've maintained, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened to Nolan Wells, but we at least have the humility to acknowledge that we don't know. And that quite frankly, there are many more things that we don't know than we do. But that's the difference. We're not out there defaming people. All this defamation is just this avalanche.
Yeah, the odds are he drowns, whether y'all want to believe it or not. The odds are that he drowns. Those are the odds. I know y'all don't want to believe that, but you got a hot ass day, a humid ass day, people not drinking water, people drinking alcohol. I'm not going to say anything else. And you're swimming because you got to wade in the shitty ass water. And the tides, the current, the waves, and all that. Rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. You know, a lot of people don't want to believe that. He's an excellent swimmer. Yeah, that's great. Everybody's an excellent swimmer until the right wave current riptide comes and takes your ass on up out of here because you're not in your right mind, your right strong ass mind. But I know that y'all won't believe that. We already know. And it's going to be a shit show once the information comes out. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because ain't no way all this time, like somebody just said a second ago, that nobody has come up on this internet and really said anything. People can't keep their mouth shut. People can't keep their mouth shut, especially if they think they know something. Or they're going to be seen as the hero. You trying to tell me that there's somebody out there that could say this person did it and they haven't come forth when you've got that girl from TikTok, which is the holy Bible for a bunch of goofies. I am the expert electrical engineer and I took this out and I took that out and this is what they said. Why she got to put the fucking writing on there? Ben Crumb could have been taking that call and had a legitimate person listen to it and come out to be able to say it. And he probably did, but it probably didn't come back the way that he wants to. Why wouldn't he do that? Ben Crump is the type of person that will say, oh, let's go get a legitimate source so they can confirm and be blasting it in front of everybody. But he's not doing that. This child, he full of it and y'all fall for it because coloreds love to be scammed. And, give your money up to whatever the fuck it is that you want to. Believe whatever it is that you want to. This is your form of reparations, I guess. I don't know what it is. But to sit around and say that somebody did something with your whole chest, as Funky Dineva would say, and then think that it's okay to do that, y'all crazy. It's never worth it. It ain't never worth all that.
This avalanche of insanity, right? It's this rush to judgment where people pour accelerant on a fire, and that is a forest fire that's going to get out of control right quick.
And Tyler did, because I know you started with the boys early on. I think, Ed, you joined more recently.
All right, y'all. What else you got? What is this?
A death penalty case. Contested.
Representing Charlie Kirk's accused assassin filing a brief last night. They argue he should not go on trial for murder.
Oh, is that it? Because, y'all, all right, that's enough. That's it. That's it. Good, because y'all getting on my nerves, boring me to tears. All right, let's go to this interview, though. This is the interview. Nolan Wells' friends exposed the truth about the Cito audio that the infamous TikToker said. This is what it says. Now she got a GoFundMe. Y'all make sure you donate to her GoFundMe too, child. I tell you what, it looks like everybody ain't in as bad a shape as they claim they in. Spending your time on this.
If we have a dead body on the boat, I mean, why would we call the Coast Guard? Why would we do the things we did if we know we killed somebody?
You don't hear about the pool party because it was on June 27th. You don't hear about anything else that was mentioned. Thousands of lies. And now, the audio comes back and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the background, screaming, we're screaming about how he's dead. That's just a complete lie.
If you just murder your best friend on an island, the dumbest thing you could do would be to call the Coast Guard.
What is your thoughts on that phone call to Cito? Some people have gone out and done enhancements to the audio.
Child, it won't even stop. Shout out to EJ in the building. Thank you, Boo. He said, I'm going to tell you, Brad guilty. Who knows? I guess we will find out, right?
I'ma tell you. You're not gonna tell me. I'ma tell you. You heard what I said? Because I'ma tell you. You're not gonna tell me. I'ma tell you.
I don't have anything against any community. I have a thing against dummies, jackasses, and people who lie and just want to blame white people for everything when black people plenty need to look in the motherfucking mirror and see what the fuck it is that they doing to make the community that they allegedly care about suck ass, okay? Y'all don't ever want to look at that. You just only want to look at it when it's white people and it's police officers. You never want to look at it on a nightly basis in Chicago or Baltimore or Memphis. No, I'll be disgusting, but you're here giving me the view. You ask a question, I'm giving you the answer. You don't like it because you think I'm supposed to just believe some shit that don't make no sense. You think I'm just supposed to believe some shit that don't make no sense. It's got nothing to do with the fact except it doesn't make sense. Y'all want to believe whatever you want to believe so that you can say white people did it. You got that. Do it. It don't make no sense and it don't get no justice. And if there really was somebody that did something to Nolan, you really don't care about Nolan and who actually did something. You just want what you want to be true because you want it to be true, regardless of if it's the truth. You're the ones that can't even understand and see that the daggone mother is Asian. Y'all said that y'all was doing an Asian boycott. And yes, I said y'all because I ain't never said that. Because I don't listen to people who are so emotional about every single thing that happens and want to go and blame somebody else instead of saying, you know what, we fucked the fuck up. No. It's easier to blame someone else, which is why the community is the way that it is. It's fucked the fuck up because people like you will allow, hold on. This is who you allow to run shit. Hold on. Bitches like this.
No, Black women are the leaders of this culture. And if we aren't happy and satisfied, it's going down.
Because that's who runs the community and that's who's running this. This shit is a play by Democrats. This is all political. They don't give a damn about no damn Nolan. Ben Crumb don't give a damn. He getting paid. That's what he care about. Al Sharpton been doing this shit since he was born, probably. I'm not emotional. I'm ranting. See, you all don't understand anything. You think it's emotion. This is me on my fucking channel saying what the fuck I want to say for ignorance like y'all. Because you're the ones that are the problem. You're the ones that make the community as bad as it is. You don't want it to be better. You just want to blame white people. You just want to say, you know, because of Jim Crow. That's why you would let white people sit in your fucking face saying that this is Jim Crow 2.0 because you need a damn ID to go vote. You need an ID to do everything else in the fucking world, but to go vote now, that's racist. Because everything is racist because y'all want to get back at white people for some shit from way back when because that's supposed to make you feel better. Go the fuck for it. The motherfuckers that's telling you to do this shit, you know, the rich ass motherfuckers like Roland and Ricky and DL. Listen to the motherfuckers. Al Sharpton, Ben, all the boule D9ers that you like to listen to. You want to listen to them tell you that you got to worry about racism. They ain't worrying about it because they ain't living around y'all's asses now, are they? Where are they living? Shout out to Cam and Barack and Oprah, of which I already posted where the fuck they live. They living around 90+% white people and this much black people. But they're going to tell y'all that you got to be scared of white people. Your problem is with white people. And it works over and over and over again. The community don't change. Nothing changes. Your boy ain't changed.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
And y'all continue to listen to these motherfuckers. And you continue to be in the same place while they continue to make more money and make more money and get more power. And then they tell you that you can't do it. And then you out there on the front lines. They ain't out there. They ain't out there messing up shit. They ain't out there knocking people over. They ain't out there rushing people. They ain't doing none of that. They up here telling y'all what to do. You got D.L. Hughley that don't even like black women, calling them nappy-headed hoes. But y'all can forgive all that. D.L. Hughley out there having an affair on his black wife with another black woman, but y'all can forget all that. That's okay, child. That's okay, because D.L. is saying the shit we want to hear because we need people to like us so bad. Y'all need people to like you so bad. Oh, that sucks. That kind of is pretty bad. You can't even pick correct people. You pick motherfuckers that been playing in your face for years, and you gonna sit there and follow them. Well, imagine, Roland just said that the Democrats never help black people in the black community, but he's still saying, make sure you vote for him, child. You know why? Because that nigga get paid. Because at the end of the day, it's always about green. They telling you it's about black and white. For them, it's about green. But keep believing in them, child. Cam said that she was going to give you Negro men some weed. Child, why y'all all didn't go vote for her? You could be having free weed by now. Ain't that what you want as a black man? Isn't that what you want as a black man? I mean, what else could you want? because the black women is going to be taken care of. Because it's 92% black women, so they're going to be taken care of. That's why 300,000 got fired, because they were all bullshit ass jobs. But you don't want to believe that. It's just Trump is racist, which is fine. He's racist. Fine. What's that got to do with you and the rest of your damn life? Not a damn thing. But y'all, keep listening to him. I know they got your best interest at heart. Just like Don Lemon. White men, white people, not my white man. Not my white man. Those ones. Not my man that sticks me in the ass every night. Those ones, child. Don't talk about my man, child. Don't talk about my man, child. Please. Y'all can go be goofy someplace else, but no, stay, because all views matter. All views matter.
And in doing that, created a transcript manually. It doesn't appear that the transcript was derived from an automated system or have any, in my opinion, real integrity with it. What are your thoughts, first, you guys, on the audio, and then I'll get to you, Ed, on could that be a defamatory area, the way it was produced? So what do you guys think about that audio?
Well, I can go ahead and say that as you posted that clip of all of us on the boat, you know, as it's rolling, not rolling, but right there sitting in the water, Wyatt's on the phone with Cito in that clip. I mean, he's on the phone. Wouldn't you think that you would have seen Nolan on the bottom on the floor or something, or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him or something? I mean, it's just so crazy to think that, why would we call Cito if we have a dead body on the boat? I mean, why would we call the Coast Guard? You know,
because you're stupid. That's why.
Would we do the things we did if we know we killed somebody? And then another following up on that is,
thank you, Chris Cross, for the gold coin. I appreciate you.
Why aren't we in jail yet? I mean, we're not geniuses. There's no way we could have done a murder. I mean, there's no way we could have covered it up, especially out there with that many people. Go ahead.
I think, especially about the Cito call, I think people, regardless of who it is going to believe what they want to hear. I think half these people, or not half these people, but some of these people you can't convince. Regardless, they're going to believe what they want to believe. Exactly. If they want to believe that my friends and I had something to do with Nolan dying, then they're going to believe that regardless of what you put out. But you put out, Brandon, that a clip of the boat when Wyatt was on the phone with Cito, and it is boldly clear that Nolan.
Where the boaters at? Any boaters out here? Does that boat look like it's really about to like be in the sea, the lake? Isn't it the Gulf of America? The Gulf of America
was not on the boat with us. You can literally almost see down to the deck, and as you can see in that picture, everybody is completely casual while Wyatt's on the phone with Cito. Yeah, we were scrambling around trying to get the boat.
Tammy, did that boat look like it was about to sink? Like, seriously, did it look like it was like low to the water or whatever?
Boat fix, but the guys were, you know, in the video, you can see me, I'm sitting on the bow. If there was someone dying on the boat, why would everybody just be sitting there waiting to either get towed in, or in the first place, like Jack said, why would Wyatt call Cito? It's crazy. The reason we turned down Coast Guard is, why would we call Coast Guard if Cito could pull us in? But we fixed the boat and we ran into Fort Bayou, and that's it. The Cito call was completely enhanced, and these people just want to believe what they want to hear. And
all right, Tammy said it's a flat bottom boat. If there was a body in the boat, you would see it. Well, they'll just say that they already got rid of the body, though. And yes, it's low. Okay, it did look a little low to me. It did look low to me. But I'm not a boater, so. And neither are any blacks for the most part. For the most part, they are not. They are not.
And that's exactly what they're doing. So it's just crazy to me that people have tried to twist this and twist the audio. When we came out with the first interview, it debunked half these lies, and now you don't hear about any of it. You don't hear about the pool party because it was on June 27th. You don't hear about anything else that was mentioned. Thousands of lies. And now, the audio comes back, and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the background, screaming. You know, we're screaming about how he's dead. That's just a complete lie. And
he said Nolan was screaming while he was dead. Child, he can't make it up.
It's another lie to push this narrative that people don't want to turn down. It's insane to me.
Sorry to interrupt. I know you're enjoying this incredible.
Oh, no.
3-second opportunity to say what you would want to say to people regarding what you were saying on lies that have been told about you. And I can start here and we'll go all the way down to and we'll end with you, Ed. But Morgan, if you had an opportunity to have this projected to everybody in the United States of America, many people who have made statements about you and about what occurred that day, what would you say to them? Like just a 30-second, this is what you would want to convey.
I mean, first I would say that, it's proven in evidence that they're all lies. I think that most of these people are just going to, I say most of these people, a lot of these people that have posted stuff out there, they've just been lies backed by no evidence. And if I had one thing to say to them, I'd say, do your research before you go out saying something that's not true, that could hurt someone. Just do your research. I mean, it's easy. All you have to do is just scroll like they do all day long and find the evidence that's right in front of their face. And I mean, it'll prove its own facts.
I could say do the proper research. sort through all the lies. I mean, and a lot of these stuff, like you can just tell straight off the bat it's lies. And for one,
and don't even waste your time, Reaper. The ignorant are going to ignorant just to be jackasses, because that's what they do, is be jackasses. We know what it is, and they know it too. They just want to be assholes, because assholes is the way to go.
Defaming us, and for two, it makes you look like a dummy. I mean, like, you're just saying stuff, just pulling it out of who knows where.
It started at 11,500. Now that I don't remember. How I get from 11,500 to almost $1 million? What the hell?
And you just look like an idiot on your phone making this TikTok or whatever. Like, do your research, man. Like, if you can't simply do that, don't get on your phone and start making a video.
It's just kind of concerned me with like how people have the time of day to just make up complete lies out of something that they have no evidence.
Child, shout out to EJ. Thank you, boo. Kamala would win all for inspired. Goodbye, sir. Shout out to EJ. You're so silly.
Stuff and to post on social media to put other people down. It's insane to me, like how, like, just people push this and, you know, want to make this a story that it's absolutely not. I don't know what happened to Nolan. My friends don't know what happened to Nolan. But for people to come around and say, oh, this happened for a fact, and I know this, and there's no telling me otherwise, then that's just stupid. You have no, like, half these people that are saying all these crazy things on the internet, those lies have already been debunked. There's evidence supporting this is a lie. Like, why are you still saying this? These people just have no idea what they're talking about. And it's very clear because a lot of these people just speak without thinking and post stuff without thinking. But at the end of the day, it just looks really stupid on their page and whatever they're posting on. But it's just...
Oh, they're thinking. Trust me when I tell you, they're definitely thinking. Frigidaire is thinking.
Sad. Like, people really take the time out of their day to post a bunch of BS lies on a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds who have never done anything to hurt anyone and, love their friend. Like, I love that man more than anybody. And like, so did all of my friends. And it's absolutely horrible that these people want to come on and push this narrative that we had something to do with this or we killed our best friend. It's just sick to me, Brandon. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, this might be too long, but I have a few things I need to add. First of all, with respect to Warren, if you just murdered your best friend on an island, the dumbest thing you could do would be to call the Coast Guard, to call a federal law enforcement agency and tell them, hey, can you guys go out and check out this island and look for Nolan Wells? Well, that's exactly what Warren did.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Warren called the Coast Guard, and it may have felt good on themselves in court, and it's going to be excruciatingly painful. The only thing I can say about that is it won't be quite as painful as what they did to Morgan, Jax, and Warren.
So Ed, I got one question for you, because the way you guys articulate the defamation, obviously, if someone puts out online lies, knowingly and intentionally do them, knowing that they're lies, in part, that's a part of the defamation. But is the racial component, because when someone goes out and says things without evidence, projecting that this was a racial encounter, is that a part of this defamation, or does that not count as far as your tactics on defending them or defending their honor, I guess, in this situation?
Well, one thing that we're never going to do is we're never going to speculate and we're never going to guess like some other folks who got their sugar highs and are sucking up all the oxygen in the room for now, and they'll have their day in court. But we can talk about what might motivate people. And I won't talk about any particular people because I am not inside their head right now. But I can tell you that racism for profit is a major factor here.
Because it's worked all these years. Shout out to Ben Crump and Al Sharpton and the baby shaking minister. He's a pillar of the community too. Y'all great at picking out good people.
And we don't have to name names. But
you can name
racism for profit, generating outrage for profit. In the end, it's all about money. And we don't even have to think about whether the racism that these people are talking about is real or fake or anything like that. It's racism for profit. And it's part of the motive. But when you have...
Sir, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say this.
Offenders who defame innocent young men, fine innocent young men, upstanding young men, it might be a constellation of motives. Profit, animus, stupidity, ignorance. Maybe they just don't like evidence. See, we really like evidence here. Tyler Cox really likes evidence. I really like evidence. Morgan, Jax, Warren, we really like evidence. And that's the difference between the other guys and us. And we have evidence. We have the receipts. We have the goods. We're going to be presenting it in court. And I will say, once we present it in court, we're going to say, now you can't leave.
This place that they're in, I'm looking at the background and everything. It looks like a place that you rent. Like, it looks like a place where you rent by the sea or whatever. Because when we used to go to the vineyard, that's what it would look like. It'd be all aquatic. It'd be white. It would be like this grayish, bluish color, and the same type of furniture and everything, so that they could quickly clean it up. I don't think this is any of their homes. This definitely looks like it's like an Airbnb or something that they rented out or something.
Do you think that the other side, because I've seen through social media that there's a preparation of lawsuits against the boys. Is there merit, according to your knowledge in this space, is there merit to pursuing lawsuits against them?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I can answer that question definitively and unequivocally. Anybody who sues Jax, Warren, or Morgan, they're going to end up paying our attorney's fees. Guaranteed. Any lawsuit, and I'm going to warn anyone right now, anybody who is thinking for 1 second about suing these fine young men, these good Ocean Springs people, you're going to pay their attorney's fees. You're going to lose. You're going to get annihilated. You're going to get crushed. You have nothing. And here's the beauty of it. We know you have nothing because we actually have the evidence. We know what happened. And I'll just say it like this. We have a pair of aces and you have 2-7 offsuit.
So with all the negative that's going on, obviously there's been positive that I've seen
I think that's a poker reference. Is that what that is? I think.
that have come y'all's direction. I felt like when Warren came out and did the interview the first time, of course, a lot of people decided to say a lot of negative things, but then there's a tremendous amount of people that were very supportive and thankful that they had a chance to hear the other side. So what are y'all's thoughts and feelings on the other side of this, where people have been supportive? Kind of what are your thoughts on that? What have you experienced in that area?
I want to start off and just say that has helped us tremendously through this. One, mentally knowing that there are people on our side that are here to help and want to help and are actually helping with the online stuff. And I want to say thank you to everybody who has made a video on the positive side of things and showing the actual facts and debunking a lot of false information and giving to the Gifts and Go. Yeah, that's another really big one. Thank you so much for that. Giving to the Gifts and Go. That means a lot, more than you could ever imagine.
John, I cannot imagine having some damn fish that close to me, let alone touching me. Ugh.
I just want to say thank you to all the people out there. I personally went through and looked at all the, there's a prayer thing. You can say a prayer on there. And I personally went through and looked at all the prayers, and I'm just really appreciative of all the people that I know that have our backs and have supported us through all of this. It's really helped us out.
That's right.
Obviously I want to give thanks. My friends and my family really appreciate it. I mean, it's hard to get by every day without having a group of people behind you. It really helps my friend and I's, especially like mental side of things, knowing that we have a community behind us that is willing to stand for us and stand for the truth. And, we can't thank them enough. Like seriously with, like Morgan said, the prayers and just even the money and the Gifts and Go. It's a blessing from the Lord. And, we can't thank everybody enough. Seriously, it's been more than enough. So
Ed, what are your thoughts on this? I know you see the outpouring of support for the boys. I know that obviously with your credentials, you're taking on this case, which is a huge undertaking, representing multiple young people in this, with so many people that you have mentioned that could be possibly going to get sued in this. So what would you like to say to the people about this?
Well, the most important thing is that these 3 outstanding young men who are completely innocent are worth standing behind. It's worth standing behind them. It's worth supporting them, because these 3 gentlemen here, they're going to go out into the world and they're going to do incredible things for society, right? These are 3 young men who want to help people and who are going to help people. They're just wonderful souls, wonderful human beings. So if you want someone to support, if you're looking for someone to support, and if you're looking for people who tell the truth and like evidence and common sense, you should support these guys, not the other guys who traffic in lies. All right. Now there's a Give, Send, Go page, right? Those donations are very important. We have an incredible legal team. I'm very, very privileged to be working with Tyler Cox, right? Yeah. Right. So, but we're going to be bringing powerhouse lawsuits.
He sounds like a typical lawyer. Don't he sound like Donald Trump the way he's talking? Powerful lawsuits. We can never lose. I know what's going on. He sounds like him. He does sound like him.
So it's absolutely powerhouse. But, right, it does require support, and any support is greatly appreciated. But there are also things that people can do that have nothing to do with money. All we're asking people to do is embrace reality, embrace common sense, and don't give in to your worst impulses. Do the research. Read. Look at the evidence.
Yeah, just start handing out lawsuits, sir. Just start handing out lawsuits. I don't need to hear him keep talking. Hurry up.
Right? Start judging credibility. And look at the respective motivations.
Like caricature?
Motives on both sides. Right? On one side, you have some folks who maybe are not motivated by such great things. But what we have on our side and why you should support us, one word for you. My favorite word, which is virtue. We've got virtue. All right? We've got the honesty. We've got the integrity. Right? We're doing the right thing here. Honesty, integrity. That's us. Honesty, integrity, and the truth. And those are very high virtues. And that's why you should support these incredible young men.
Well, thank you guys for agreeing to do an interview. I really, the purpose, and I think you guys can agree to.
All right, that's enough. Lord help your people. Let's see. Hold on. Child, he's talking about Candace. Lord. What is Umar saying? All right. Let's see what Tatum said about Umar here.
Just made up stuff. Anyway, let's get to Umar Johnson, Mr. Dashiki himself. Lying through that dashiki. That dashiki gonna catch on fire. Him lying. We got 15 timestamp clips of Umar Johnson just lying. And we sent this to the lawyers so they can review. And maybe, just maybe, Umar Dumdake, fake. I started a school 20 years ago that I still ain't got no evidence that's functional.
You can't talk about Dr. Umar in the school. The blacks love Dr. Umar in the school that's taken all their kids' lifetime who are now grown up to open up. What are you doing? Trying to tell you when niggas be scamming you, but y'all don't want to listen.
Not a single graduating class from the school he didn't concoct it. There's a lady that came out and said her kid was going to elementary school when he started this thing, and her son is now going to college, and there's still no school. Why? Black people are so gullible, bro. If I hadn't gotten baptized in Jesus' name and filled with the Holy Spirit speaking in tongues, I probably would be hoodwinking y'all black people. I'd be rich. Like Umar probably rich. Because y'all done gave him all that money for that school and he still ain't showed up with the money. Allegedly. But
I thought they said the school was ready to be open and it was done. I ain't seen or heard y'all send me nothing. School is opening up now, y'all. Schools are opening up now. It's about to be mid-August. When is school opening up this year since he's done? I ain't heard hair, no nothing from nobody. When? Somebody give me the date. I'm going down there. Somebody give me the date. Oh, is it postponed again? Oh, no. All right, I'll plan to go next year then.
I'd be woke. I'd be coming on here every day. Man, the times are hard, bro. I could have left the police department and been like, all people ain't been. I live in Sky. See, we ain't never gonna make it nowhere in life. Because the white privilege.
Laborious process of cleaning up the background conversation during the infamous CETO call. She cleaned up the background audio during the infamous CETO call, Art. And during
Umar's gonna believe because it was a black woman, so it gotta be true, right? Okay. She from TikTok. That's all you need. That's all the credentials you need, child. That's why they believe Cheyenne Bryant.
The infamous CETO call, Art, according to her cleanup, it sounds like they were trying to clean up an unaliving of Nolan Wells. You hear people saying things like, is he still alive? Did you unalive him? Is he okay? People are shocked, asking questions. Is he still breathing? If that tape gets corroborated, all the white young folks on those 3 boats need to go to jail, Art. They need to be charged, all of them. Whether you committed the crime, whether you was an accomplice to the crime, whether you was an accessory to the crime.
So everybody on the island should get charged.
Yes.
If one person did something to Nolan, according to you, everybody on because they white.
Yes.
How you gonna charge somebody on a boat that wasn't even there? Let's play this next clip because I'm finna prove
Doesn't
it wrong.
matter.
Roll the clip.
They called a CETO company at 4 o'clock. We already talked about the background noise that the audio engineer, our beautiful black sister, Jeanette Brantley cleaned up.
Beautiful black sister.
Sounds very suspicious, Art. It sounds like they may have been in the act of unaliving Nolan Wells when they made the call. It sounds like they may have been in the act of...
We in the middle of deleting somebody. Let's make a phone call.
Unaliving Nolan Wells when they made the call, Art. Allegedly. And guess what, Art? That would make perfect sense. You wanna know why? Because the call was...
Umar could get on the list, y'all. Umar could very easily get on the list.
Bogus. Nothing was wrong with that shit. This is my allegations. This is my belief and my allegations, and I'm standing on it. Nothing was wrong with the boat, Art, and I'm going to explain to you how we know this. Nothing was wrong with that boat. They made that call because they needed an alibi, Art. They needed an alibi. So if Nolan Wells, all
you gotta do is have nappy hair, put a dashiki on, and call yourself a doctor, and they believe you. What sense does it make? Show the video. Let's go to video of the boat. Look how little this boat is. Look at this boat.
Child, I don't need to see this. Let that man talk. Lord help.
They somehow pulled him out of the water, put him in the boat in front. What can I say? All right, let's get to is that all with Umar? All right, come on, give me more. He lies more, they say. Come on. Look at this fool.
The CETO operator, Art, says, do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Guess what he said? We don't need the Coast Guard. Art, if your boat is sinking, do you care who comes to rescue you? Who says we don't need the Coast Guard if we sink it? So she says, okay. She says, how many adults are on the boat? Pay attention to this, Art. We caught him in another lie. Listen to this. She says, how many adults are on the boat? He said, quote, there are no adults on the boat. He lied, Art. Second lie. First lie, he said, Nolan said, I'm staying behind to hang out with Katie. Y'all can leave me. Katie said, Nolan told her, I'm headed back to the boat because my friend's about to leave. That was lie number 1. Lie number...
Ooh, Umar, I hope you ain't got your school in your name. You may be losing all that, brother, man.
Don't nobody want that shit. Don't nobody want that shit. Nobody. No, nobody, baby. Child, please. going on fucking 17 years trying to open a school around the corner, then opened up in 3. He's still talking bullshit and black people still believe him. Seth Lofton, I appreciate your support, hon. Hold on, I can't see. He says Umar is a blithering, egotistical, narcissistic, pathological, lying, psychobabble. Damn. Start all over. Umar is a blithering, egotistical, narcissistic, pathological, lying, psychobabbling, mentally deranged agent of chaos, black devil vampire, spammy, Nazi, white supremacist, doodoo head. Damn. Wish you could hear the soundboard. Child, that is a lot. I just say full of shit. But, you know, black people need a savior somehow, some way. So they believe this man after all these years. After all these years, kids has moved on. People are grandparents now. They still waiting on him to open the school. He gonna do it. The school was already built. He didn't even have to build it. The building was there. All the buildings were already there. So what takes so long? Oh, gotta keep getting the money. I don't understand how y'all can't see that all these MFers are about green. That's it. Politicians, green. Most of the black leaders, green. Umar, green. Hit the cash app. Y'all just gotta have somebody to believe in, child. Don Lemon telling y'all white people bad while he go home to a white man, child. You can't make it up.
First of all, Katie's text messages, we read them. Katie didn't say that in the text message. Katie said that he never got back on the boat he came on, which was Wise boat. Katie said she heard them yelling at him to get on the boat, and she didn't see him get on the boat. So you just made that up out of thin air. Nobody on the boat not communicating properly. All right, finish it.
Number 2, the CETO operator asked you, how many adults are on the boat? He said there are no adults on the boat, Art. Why did he lie? She said, how many people on the boat? He said, everybody on the boat is under 21. Art, she said, that was not my question. Art, she begged him to tell her how many people are on the boat. She said, that's not.
You look like you straight in Philly too, like Spring Garden or something.
My question, how many people are on the boat? She said, is anybody breathing on the boat? He said, a lot of people breathing on the boat. She said, is there anybody living on the boat? He said, yes, people are alive on the boat. Art,
now, when you watch the call, you realize Dashiki, Dr. Umar, is just making up stuff out of context. He may not even listen to it. Maybe he listened to a clip. What she said, she was frustrated with him because he said, I don't know how many people, there's no adults, and it was a confusing conversation.
I don't have time to be trying to decipher.
Roll the clip.
All right, and I don't care about this WNBA shit. I could care less. Anyway, that is enough. That's 2 hours of me suffering with this bullshit, okay? This shit is all over the place. And it's going to stay all over the place, unfortunately. So the toxicology should be done in the next week or two, and then they'll present to the grand jury, because that's how they do it in Mississippi for people that actually want facts instead of a story that you just want to make to be true just because you got a vendetta against people. That's your problem. So maybe we'll actually get some new answers in the next couple of weeks. We shall see. Me, I'll be on vacation, but I'll be live from the island. While a lot of y'all coloreds want to sit here and talk about how white people holding you back, I'm gonna get that person or whoever and go on down there to be with the coloreds in the Caribbean and have fun with them. Anyway, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are normal. Hype this daggone video. Shout out to Ali Appreciate you, Lawrence, being the stream sponsor. Thank you to all that donated. I'm off tomorrow. I'll put out videos, but I'm taking a break, and I will see y'all Friday morning for Gen Z. I gotta stay on Gen Z's ass, and then we'll do an early stream on Friday before I come back on Saturday. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next.